I have been bitten by the non-typical bug here in the Hunter Classic big time, and no doubt the recent success of getting multiple really nice non-tips has only made that worse, but every hunt that I play in, I've been doing so around at least having a chance of running into a non-typical buck. So today, we're headed out here on Whitehart Island, still chasing a 400 Roosevelt, but with the opportunity to do a good bit of deer hunting along the way. And I already like the looks of this, a 125 to 145 whitetail buck coming in, and there's multiple in this area. The only question is, that little maneuver we just made, could that cost us? He saw us, and I just heard other footsteps too. I'm just trying to get to the tower and we can't get there. I don't know, that can't be the other buck that I heard. The last grunt was all the way across this field, so there's something else sneaking in here. But that's a pretty darn nice buck too. 8x8 for sure. Oh my goodness, 175 to 200. I don't think he's anything crazy. Might hit 180s though, I'm not really sure. The footsteps though. Oh, is it that? Okay, that's probably in a position where we can just go ahead and try to take that out. Because the last thing we need is for no good reason to let it hang around and maybe spook that buck. Didn't quite get the lead right, but it got her out of here. Let's see what this guy ends up being. He's got good tine length. The only kind of negative is the claw point on his left side is definitely a little bit short. I'll tell you what, all those tines are really, really solid. Getting a bit more optimism as he comes in, but we'll try to make a better shot than we did on the doe. He's into 30, so I'm going to say whenever he stops, or maybe if he just gets to 20, we'll go ahead and try to make the shot at that. Gotta be close to 20 now. Yeah, it's 23. Don't want him to get too close to the tower. That'll do it. And forget about the 130 we got laying there for a second. What is effectively going to be our first harvest of the hunt looks to be a really, really nice whitetail. Got him through lung and liver. 179 score, so not bad. If he had that longer claw point, he would have been a 180. But a pretty good way to get us going. And even though, like, the inspiration behind the hunt, of course, is for non-typical deer, a big typical never fails to get the heart rate going. Look at that. So I probably spent an unnecessary amount of time setting up this trophy shot, but the lighting here in the early morning is really cool, and it's a nice looking buck. I mean, 179 with a short tine and a 180 frame for sure. Pretty good way to get us going. So, curious too about the shot on that doe. But let's grab this one. Both at least kind of more massive frames on the first two bucks. Might crack 140, but I think that's a 130s. Double lung at 135. And then the doe is going to be this track here. I do not see bright blood. Yeah, that might take a little time, but considering I sat there in the trophy shot screen for so long, I kind of think she's probably down by now. Got a pretty decent looking elk shed, literally right beside our doe. 175 inches would be, what, a 350? Am I mathing correctly? I think it would be. As for the doe, that is going to be body shot at 33 meters. Must have been just a little too far forward. And at least now we can get back on the right track. So we may loop down and around, because I know we spooked at least one doe going to track that. If we go that way, we should be kind of out of the path of things that spooked whatever she ran by. Well, I suppose it was inevitable. Can't find big bucks forever. 45 to 70 on that guy. We've actually called in two different whitetail does waiting for him to get here. So I think before he gets under the stand, let's go ahead and drop him. I cannot believe the does didn't spook. I don't even know where the other one is, but there's definitely two. Sounds like the other's behind us. Really awkward angle, but able to get that one down. And for a second there, I thought we were going to get away without spooking anything. Still helps that we were able to at least bring two down. Less directions, perhaps, for things to run and spook additional animals. This buck, though, 54. Perhaps just a little smaller than the first two. And then at least we don't have to track the doe this time. That was somehow at that really weird angle double lung. But we did actually fast travel over to here. And now we're kind of officially in more elk territory. So as we scoot around to the north and up onto the northern island, I'd expect to start at least getting more elk calls and tracks. Unfortunately, unless I'm missing something here, our first herd of elk is nothing but cows. So I guess we'll go ahead and try to drop this one in case there's maybe a bull all the way in the back. Boys, at an awkward angle. We managed to get that shot in there. Nothing spooked. So we can at least try to spot. There should be 5 in here. Pretty sure we've already seen 4 cows. And definitely haven't had a bugle in response to our calling. I mean, I might be missing it, but no sign of a 5th one? So I think we're going to fast travel anyway. We'll go ahead and use the 308 rival for once. Only going to run a little bit, and that's kind of expected. Single lung shot's going to have it run just a bit. But we'll take that since we're going to be jumping up to the northern island. This one, we somehow managed up along as it was walking along. And I'd imagine this one's not going to go much more than 50 meters. And in fact, pretty much just got out of sight and went down. So at least there were a couple of elk down here. Maybe the northern island will have better luck with the bulls. So we'll probably go as far south. Oh, you know what? We put this tent up a couple of weeks back in a video. Let's see if we jump here. Well, that's not the response I wanted. Is there nothing around? Took a little bit of patience, but that's a pretty decent gobbler coming in. Believe that said 50 to 60. Really solid beard on that guy. Not the best weight estimate. So probably weaker spurs, but that was one of the things when we set up this tent. During that video, we came down here. I think there was a turkey, some deer running around. That was what we put it here for. So I'm glad it's actually producing. And we even have a second gobble up kind of the hill behind us. So hopefully that will come in as well. And even with that really impressive beard, still a lower estimate. And once you get to level 20 spotting, it is pretty rare to get the 65 to 75 estimate. But when you get it, it's got the potential to be something really special. I've been sitting in tree stands here on Whitehart Island editing videos for the last couple of weeks, and only a few times have I seen it. Recently, I got that estimate with the high weight estimate, the rare combo that has a chance of being something really special, took it out, and we got our first ever 70 plus scoring turkey. Now what you just saw was actually a 69 scoring turkey because of course, with that incredibly rare estimate, I didn't press record, and unfortunately, the turkey itself, the 70 plus, was not recorded. Now the beard length is exactly the same as the 69 one that we scored, literally the max beard length of 15 inches, but I don't know, I was editing a video, I decided not to press record, I figured it'd be 68, 69 like every other high estimate bird we got, and it happens to be the one time that we get a 70 plus. As for our second gobbler, even lower estimate 35 to 45, maybe we can actually insta-drop this one. That is one nice thing about using the crossbow pistol, like we did on the 69 and 70 scoring one actually. As long as they're within about 30 meters, any hit insta-kills them. And the thing is basically silent, so I would have brought it if not for the fact that we can get a little more range and power out of the 308, and we can still carry the 223 for bobcats, coyotes, and actually even turkeys if we need to take a longer range shot. But our higher scoring gobbler, which I think maybe we hit just a little too high on, it looks like that went in around the base of the neck. Really solid beard length, decent weight at 9.3, he's got to be like 58. Will we ever find out? He's 55 actually. He may have the worst spurs for one like in that size range I've ever seen, because everything else was quite solid, and that is why a 70 scoring turkey is so absurdly rare. If you get the beard length and you get the weight, you can still have weak spurs, and that just has everything fall apart. But anyway, there was actually a blacktail buck that called too, so it seems like this is in fact a good spot to go to later in hunts. I'll tell you one definite negative of this stand. Stuff can really sneak in on you, like it's gotta be really close, until you can actually see if it does anything but come in from this meadow in the front. So blacktail can be weird, sometimes a little tough to drop, but able to get that. And then the bonus whitetail doe that's coming in behind us, which for the second time today, didn't spook from a shot really close, and we get a little extra kill. We are closing in on 1,000 kills, by the way, with the Flinter bow, so not that we're ever going to retire it, obviously, but at some point we'll start to use another bow to try to reach 1,000 kills with it too. But our bonus whitetail, and I think we're at like 10 kills and we still haven't shot a bull elk. So we're going to start to make our way up towards the lake now, and see if maybe that's where they're hiding. There we go. Not even very far from the stand. I wonder, Maybe they just sort of walked into render because I was sitting there using the bugle just in case. Finally, right in the direction we're going anyway, we've got at least a bull elk up there. Well, 30 to 80. Not exactly what we're hoping to see. Now there is also a cow elk that came in, but it's from such a different direction, I'm not sure if it's a herd or what. They started like trotting around almost as if they're going to try to group back up. So maybe that is the case. But I guess we can try to stick an arrow in that guy. That is a really odd angle. It's almost exactly on 40 meters. So maybe we can get this, but it's going to need to be very specific. He started the step right as we shot anyway. Not exactly the best, but it'll bring him down. There was a blacktail buck there too. Well, wouldn't you know it, I'm pretty sure that exact same blacktail buck that spooked when we shot that tiny bull is actually walking right back past us, and I did not even call for him. There actually is another bull elk that just called out in this field. Pretty confident it's got nothing to do with the one that we shot, but it was an intestine hit. We probably got to give it 15 minutes or so anyway. Looks like we just spooked a black-tailed doe, but that's going to be all good. Didn't run towards our elk. How did we drop that? Liver, stomach, intestine, that certainly could have spooked our elk because he would have run directly towards where they were. So we lucked out, but I'm hoping to see, you know, maybe more than like 4 total points. I mean, that is an improvement. 175 to 220 for that one. I don't know, they're coming in a really weird pattern right now. Unless it is just one bull and one cow, which it could be. I don't quite understand what's going on. It's been weird herds so far. Because there's definitely a cow down there. We're going to try to not have to shoot that black-tailed doe. I think we'd be better off if we don't need to. She's looking at us. Maybe if we sit still. Sounds like there's something else. That's going to be that. I saw 3 cows take off. Not sure if there was a 4th. I mean, maybe. I guess there's a chance that the tiny bull we shot did come from this group then. 197 for him, and by now I'd say the intestine shot one should be down. So after all of that, our little bull elk, intestine and stomach shot ended up being at 41 meters, 64 score, and a full 9 CSS. I'd imagine that's at least going to be the smallest antlered animal we'll shoot today. Or maybe the one buck was a little bit lower. Either way, let's hope to not see anything more like that. Well, we've certainly got our pick of turkeys here. There are a whole ton coming into this setup. But best I can tell, no longbeards whatsoever. 35 to 50 there with a high weight estimate. Other than that, wow, 20 to 30. That's about as low an estimate as you can get. Got a 45 to 55, but that's a double beard. I think both of those might be double beards. And one more all the way in the back that maybe can save us. I'm imagining we're going to spook everything almost regardless. 25 to 35. All right, well, a pick of pretty subpar gobblers then. I guess we can maybe go for the highest estimate one. See if we can maybe stick an arrow in him, and maybe we can switch to the 223 and get an extra one. Because my guess is, ooh, maybe that's not going to send everything flying just yet. 2 for 2. I think that's up. Nope, not off to the side. How it? So long as, even if like the next one spook, if we can get the back one with the 223, we could actually kill all the gobblers. Finally gonna spook him. That still did drop it. We've got the 223. We've got a drop shot on, was it the 5th gobbler? And I mean, nothing huge in there, but turkeys generally are really good for CSS, and that of course is the GM reward that you get for all your harvests. So even though none of these are gonna be very big, it'll probably be maybe even a couple hundred GM added to the account. So 30.8 was the one up to 35. There's going to be one even smaller than that. I think it's the one just behind this guy. This one was 9 kilo right lung 47 score. I mean, even like that's a very average turkey, and you still get 78 GM out of that. This, I'm pretty sure, is a very much not average turkey. Wait, no, that's 9.7 kilo. That's a 44. Where was the one that was really tiny? Because he also had a low weight estimate. This might be our personal worst, 27. That is pretty darn tiny. And then the final gobbler, from our group of 5 of them, which we somehow ended up getting all 5 of, I think he was also, what, 25 to 35? So not going to be special. 29, wow. For all those gobblers. And 3 of them were under, I think, 31. Can't say I've done that before. I'm literally editing the video that you're watching. And this buck's coming in. A 140 to 165 melanistic blacktail buck. I was getting ready to shoot this very unimpressive, very not melanistic 45 to 70. And just, it was footsteps. I've talked about tree stand editing in this very video. And it's been so fruitful here on Whitehart Island. I can't believe we're looking at this. I'm gonna wait till he stops because he's seeming to want to like walk around in circles below the tree. Betcha that'll be it. And he is dead. That is so cool. I've always wanted a really nice rare blacktail, and funny enough, the only rare blacktail buck we have is a mela, but it's way smaller. That is amazing. Double lung melanistic 148 score. That is going straight to the lodge. Just unbelievable. What we have too with the mela right now, it's like 98 score. It's not big, but there's a full body platform already set up for this. This guy's taking the place, no doubt. What a stud of a rare. That is so cool. All things considered, like pretty early in the morning like this, not a bad photo. That's gonna look incredible in the lodge. On the full body mount and everything, some pretty decent blacktail luck while we've been editing from the tree stands, that is for sure. And as I'm sure you can imagine, a little bit of a different ending than was planned. I thought we were just gonna come back here, take a look at our 70 turkey, and just get to see that in the lodge. Just so disappointing that I didn't actually record it. It was really cool, but at least we have him in the lodge, and now he's next to a 148 melanistic. As I sat there and edited the very video that he ends up being in. Just crazy luck that everything worked out that way. And tree stand editing, like that's how we got the 70 turkey. I was editing a video then too. It has really produced a lot of quality animals and made this lodge look even better. So I think on that note, that is going to do it for this video. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.